Deafened.
At last, you could hear.
You were broken.
You were whole.
You were blinded.
And at last, you saw.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam. This is HMO4 Gaming. Welcome you back to Knights of the Old Republic 2. In the last episode, we saved Onderon from a certain fate that fell to General Vaklu and the Sith. We prevented that and restored order for Queen Talia and met up with Master Kavar, and he told us he was going to meet us right here on Dantooine at the Jedi Enclave. Now that we've gotten Zuskael and Master Vrook as well to join us here, we're going to kick off the end game properly. I know I mentioned Onderon as being the kickoff, but this is pretty much the point of no return. Once we head inside the Jedi Enclave, that's it. We're locked in. You can't go anywhere else. So in between that and this episode, I made sure to do that one side quest with the Pazak lady, basically paid for her freedom, and then I still didn't have enough, so I went over to collect some money from Oropo Tano, if you remember him from some of the earlier episodes that we got the credentials from so we can get the droid away from Zerka. Yeah, he had the money to repay us. I told him to keep it, and presto changeo, that got us up to Light Mastery to get our +3 to Constitution, and we're super powerful at that. I did do some weaving maintenance for our J Shay armor, so now we are, I hope these stack, I'm not really too sure, but now we're 60% immune from energy, so lightsabers aren't going to really do too much to us. And if you're excited to kick off the end of the game, please hit like, hit subscribe, do all those things on down below. And let's head in to meet with the Jedi Masters. And get a nice serene look. How they repaired the entire Jedi Enclave is beyond me. I also never noticed that the doors open once you come over here. Wait for it. There it is. All ready for us. It is a nice touch that they rebuilt the Jedi Temple, so now it's an actual structure. Not exactly sure how they had time to do all this and, you know, focused on their masonry work and getting all the stone back together, but I guess that's neither here or there. Can't clear off the path and fill in any of these holes. Nah, that's too much work. Can't be bothered. Alright, and let's head in and meet up with the Masters and hope they will help us as we return to the other side of the Jedi Enclave. As we're reminiscing of the Jedi Enclave, I do want to point out that the endgame of this game, even back on PC, back in the day, and an old potato PC, yeah, it was really unstable, and a lot of things just rushed to conclusions. You'll notice it in this cutscene. I replayed it a few times, and each time it was janky, so excuse me if things just pop into the end and it starts freaking out. Hopefully nothing freaks out in this recording. But yeah, it gets a little janky. Alright, let's head over to where the Jedi Masters are, over here in the room. If you played the first game, it's where Master Jar, Vrook, and Vandar were. And this is also indeed the first time Kreia has been back. As we heard from her, she used to be a teacher of Revan, and I would imagine it was here as well. Don't exactly know why I have to press A for that cutscene to Let's Go, as she wants to touch the rock.
The years have not been kind to us both, it seems, but perhaps now they will see the truth at last.
Yeah, that's an example of it cutting for some reason.
It is not as it was.
But perhaps that is for the best.
Hello, Masters. Also, there's one bug that was pretty persistent each time that Master Zuskael is talking out of Master Kavar's voice. That happened every single time I tested this. Not sure why it happens. Let's see. I need to know why the Order spoke of when you cast me out of the Order many years ago.
You already know the answer. You've noticed it in those who travel with you.
Could you please just give me a straight answer?
Have you noticed that when you act, others follow?
Those that travel with you.
They follow you without question, without hesitation.
Against their instincts, and sometimes against their sense.
It is because you are a leader, but that still fails to grasp the meaning of what I'm trying to tell you.
Are you saying I'm controlling them?
It is not an easy thing to explain. Surely you are familiar with force bonds. It is the bond that develops between apprentice and master when one truly understands another. It is developed over time through understanding of each other. Yet you do it so easily, and we do not know why.
You make connections through the Force, and it resonates with those who travel with you. The resonance is even greater when they, too, are Force-sensitive.
Your actions affect others more than you know. You draw others to you, especially those strong in the Force.
When you suffer, their spirit echoes it. And when they are in pain, their pain becomes yours.
Hence why I was able to find all these party members that can become Jedi. They were strong in the Force. How did this happen?
We do not know, but it is not the first time you felt the weight of so many lives.
And that is why the Mandalorian wars echo within you still.
So all those deaths at Malachor?
We did not cut you off from the Force. You were merely deafened to it. Because of that last battle of the Mandalorian Wars.
The screams of countless thousands, Jedi and Mandalorians, crushed by the planet's gravity, annihilated.
Their lives still scream across the surface of that dead planet, and within you. To hear the Force over such pain, it is not possible. It was too much for any Jedi to endure, and it is a wonder that you did not die there when thousands perished. All those you had fought with and struggled with. You cut yourself off because you had to if you were to survive. You had hints of it in the war on Doxon. Malachor was simply the final blow.
You were deafened.
At last, you could hear.
You were broken.
You were whole.
You were blinded.
And at last, you saw.
When you returned to us, we saw what had happened. You carry all those deaths at Malachor within you. And it has left a hole, a hunger that cannot be filled.
In you, we saw a wound in the Force.
In you, we saw the end of the Force.
But that makes no sense. I can feel the Force again.
Yes. You can feel the Force, but you cannot feel yourself. You are a cipher, forming bonds, leeching the life of others, siphoning their will and dominating them. It is the teaching of these new Sith to feed on others, on other Force sensitives. They are symptomatic of the wound in the Force. You are a breach that must be closed. You transmit your pain, your suffering through the Force. Within you we see something worse than merely the teachings of the Sith. What you carry may mean the death of the Force and the death of the Jedi.
Okay. But I can feel the Force strongly.
So you think. It is not the strength of a Jedi you feel.
He's right. It's all the death you've caused to get here. You feed on it, and you grow stronger. You're like Malachor. It's in you, it's what you are now. You must have noticed as you fought across all these planets, killing hundreds, only to become more and more powerful. Why do you think that was?
But what's worse is that bonding you have. It hasn't gone away. It's gotten stronger. And the more attachments you form, the more you draw others to you.
And that is why you are a threat to us all.
So, and that's pretty much how the game dealt with the RPG. That is, that if you defeat enemies and do things and gain XP, you became stronger. So the in-game universe explanation is that we feed on everything. So every person we killed, every droid we destroyed, every lock we picked, every mine we picked up, every side quest, skill check that we did was all feeding our hunger, and our power increased us as we went along. And that is why for every XP we get, we gain stronger. It's because we are wounded in the Force that gathers all that life energy to us to become stronger. Which is damn cool for an explanation for experience points. What do you mean?
What if other Jedi went to war as you did, suffered the same events, and emerged as you did? What if there was a crucible that trained such Jedi to consume and kill?
For you, Malachor was that crucible.
What's worse is these Sith that we face. I fear that they have learned the lesson of Malachor all too well. It is what allows them to prey on Force users, to become stronger when Force sensitives are near.
Somehow they have learned their hunger from you. And so you have brought about the end of the Jedi, and perhaps all the knowledge of the Force. But it is of no consequence. Your ability to make such connections, such bonds so easily are why you cannot remain. You are a threat to living creatures and all who feel the Force.
You will lead the Sith here, and that we cannot allow.
Our judgment before remains.
Here comes Grey.
Exile. You must leave. And you must leave without your tie to the Force. It is a punishment reserved for only a few, and only when necessary. But we have the power to cut you off from the Force, and it must be done.
And here we are at the apex of the story.
Forgive us, but it
the
is
reason
necessary.
for all this. So, Kraya is going to explain it eloquently, but ultimately, the reason why we're here and do all that, and why Kraya has taken a liking to us, even though we already know that she's a Sith Lord and all that, but she doesn't really care about the Sith Lord side. It's just a means to an end, is that in us, she sees that we can end the Force, because she doesn't like the Force, because the Force is the catalyst for everything, it controls everything, and she wants the Force to die so that that shackle of predestined everything could end and everyone could be free. That is ultimately what she wants and what she thinks we can achieve through us. Because if we continue down the path we are, we can destroy the Force, and with it, she thinks, it'll be freedom for all. At least that's the in-game explanation, and I will let Kraya take it away. As soon as I do any of these choices, it doesn't really matter. If this is what's be done, then I accept it. I won't give up the Force. Please stop this. But they're going to do it anyway. And Kraya's not going to like it.
Pain, but this must be done.
And the cutscene's going to get really janky, but it's okay. Take it away, Kraya. Oh, the grass is blocking us.
Enough! Step away from her.
What?
Step away! She has brought truth.
Also, I'm not supposed to be standing, but that has also been consistent in my testing,
you will
so
not harm
whatever.
Her. You will not harm her ever again.
I thought you had died in the Mandalorian Wars.
Die? No. Became stronger. Yes.
Is this your new master, Exile? If so, then you follow Revan's path. Her teachings will cause you to fall as surely as he did.
Sit out, and now they have come to us.
As you would pass judgment on her, I have come to pass judgment on you all. Do you wish to feel the teachings born of the Mandalorian Wars? Of all tragedies that scream across the galaxy? Let me show you. You, who have forever seen the galaxy through the Force. See it through the eyes of the exile. How could you ever hope to know the threat you face when you have never walked in the dark places of the galaxy, faced war and death on such a scale? If you had traveled far enough, rather than waiting for the echo to reach you, perhaps you would have seen it for what it was. There is a place in the galaxy where the dark side of the Force runs strong. It is something of the Sith, but it was fueled by war. It corrupts all that walks on its surface, drowns them in the power of the dark side. It corrupts all life, and it feeds on death. Revan knew the power of such places, and the power in making them. They can be used to break the will of others, of Jedi, promising them power and turning them to the dark side. Did you never wonder how Revan corrupted so many of the Jedi, so much of the Republic, so quickly? The Mandalorian Wars were a series of massacres that masked another war, a war of conversion, culminating in a final atrocity that no Jedi could walk away from, save one. And that is what I sought to understand. How one could turn away from such power, give up the Force, and still live. But I see what happened now. It is because you were afraid. It is done. She is no more. Take me to Atris. She will have the strength to do what the Council cannot.
And here we are. And we gain the Force ability, Force Enlightened, which is basically a button that we would press that would instantly activate 3 of our Force powers. So the lore explanation of it is, where is it? Force Enlightenment is, this power allows the Jedi to use the light side of the Force to enhance the Jedi's powers. The best of the Jedi's speed, armor, and valor powers are instantly activated at a reduced cost. This power is useful to become ready for battle, for difficult battles. Essentially, basically, it costs 15, which is like nothing when we have 384 Force powers to activate our Force Valor, Shield, and Barrier all at once, which is pretty good. And here we are. The Master is dead, drained of his life. His body is worse than lifeless. It is an absence in the Force. So she essentially drained the Force right from them, drained the light Force, and all 3 Jedi Masters are now here left to die. And if you're playing this as the male route, the Handmaiden takes Kreia to Atris because she thinks she killed her. And she wants Atris to pass judgment on Kreia. But in this version, yeah, the Handmaidens just show up out of nowhere, I guess, because I guess Atris knew about the meeting but just didn't come to it. It's kind of crazy how she plans these meetings and never shows up for them. Interesting. Alright, and without further ado, we have to chase after Kreia, so on the Telos we go. And thankfully it teleports us right to the ship. And Kreia actually beat up everybody on the way. Atton couldn't stop her. Sorry, Atton. Where's Kreia?
She's gone. The Handmaidens came for her. They know who she is now. I couldn't stop them. I wasn't conscious at the time. I don't even know if I could have stopped them. They'll take her to Telos, and Atris will do what she'll do with anyone she thinks is a Sith. Yeah, I know. That's what I was afraid you'd say.
Is something wrong? You look troubled. I can feel it.
And sorry about the microphone. My dog decided to start barking, but I fear I've been influencing you all without realizing it.
I do not understand what you mean.
Do you understand why you attack who I attack, kill who I kill?
I follow you. Feel as I do because it is my choice. I believe in what we are doing, what you are doing. I am here because I choose to be.
But if the Force is just controlling all this?
I simply do. There is nothing I can show you as proof, except give you my word. Something happened within the Enclave. What is it?
I've learned that I form connections through the Force, and that is why others follow me to their death.
Then they do not understand you. That is the danger of being a Jedi. When one separates themselves from others, chooses to lead a life of isolation, denying what makes them a feeling being, it is easy to make such judgments. And such judgments, I believe, are made in ignorance. There is no danger in what you represent, other than your humanity. You change others, but I do not believe it is due to the Force. I believe it is because you are a natural leader, and because you feel connected to the people around you. Where they look at you and see the death of the Force, I look at you and see hope for all life. And that perhaps a life lived without the Force is not the punishment it is believed to be. I will understand if you feel you must go alone, but I ask that you do not. Instead, take strength from your connections to others. Do not forsake them, as you did in exile.
Who is there?
Who I am is not the question.
I am Atris, Jedi Master, the last historian of the Jedi, the last of the Jedi.
Those are titles, words you cling to as the darkness falls around you.
You are that which has attacked the Jedi. You are Sith.
Sith is a title, yes, but like you, the title is not who I am. It is not what I believe. For you, it is different. Know that there was once a Darth Treya, and that she cast aside that role, was exiled, and found a new purpose. But there must always be a Darth Treyer, one that holds the knowledge of betrayal, who has been betrayed in their heart, and will betray in turn. You have bathed in the knowledge of the Sith, but there is not enough truth in such teachings. But it will be a step for you.
How did it happen?
Search your heart. It was never battle that called to you, never battle that caused you to fall. Malachor 5 has touched many things, and it casts its echoes still.
Why did she betray me?
You betrayed yourself. Do not blame the exile. And unlike you and I, there is still a chance that one may be saved, the one that you cast out.
Where is the exile? I had thought...
Oh, she will come, but it will be too late to save either of us. It is such a quiet thing to fall, but far more terrible is to admit it.
I love that phrase.
Your mistress awaits. She has much to share with you.
Yeah, she's not going to share anything, unfortunately. And now the female route kind of doesn't make any sense, because now we're basically left here to run up to where Atris is. Like, whereas in the male version, you know, handmaiden's there, we have to fight some people as handmaiden first. Ultimately, you know, the fight ends and we show up to save her, but, you know, that's actually a little bit cooler. So I think for the canon story, the male version for this makes sense. For the female version, there's like nobody here. This whole place is empty. I don't think there's anyone here. I'm gonna check, but just looking around, there's like nothing here. We're left to walk through an empty area for some reason. We're not even fighting through anything. We're literally just walking around. Even here in the fighting arena, there's literally nobody. Which, again, makes no sense. For the male version, we're just automatically teleport after the fight between Brianna and Atris. For the female version, yep, we're literally just walking from the ship in an empty area. There's no handmaidens to fight us. We're not fighting any handmaidens whatsoever. In the cut content, however, again, still it only affects the male route. You're fighting with Brianna against the handmaidens, and you can choose to not kill them for light side points or kill them for light side points. She actually has like a thinking monologue in her head to figure out what she needs to do, which is pretty cool. But in vanilla version, we either show up as our dude to save Brianna after Atris and her fight, or in the female version, yeah, we literally just walk through the complex of empty nothing just to walk up to Atris and start it properly, the fight, which is kind of anticlimactic, but hey, this game was made in like less than a year, so, you know, this is why there is a cut content mod.
She said you would come here
that
to this
maybe
place.
Eventually we'll get.
If you think you can defeat me here, you are wrong. All this collected knowledge, all these teachings of combat and the Force, they're mine to command. And if I must use it to end you, I will. Surrender. You need not die.
You have fallen to the dark side, Atris. Surely you must see that.
Atris? That is not who I am, not any longer. She has not existed for some time, I think. There was always something else within me. It just took time for its voice to be heard.
Atris, we don't have time for this. We need to unite to stop the Sith.
Yes, the Sith are here at last. You have brought them to this place as I had foreseen. It has all been part of my plans for you. And when I defeat you and the forces you have brought to Telos, I shall take the battle to the heart of the Sith and wipe them out forever.
What plan are you talking about?
These Sith are cowards, striking from the shadows to kill Jedi. I needed a target to draw them out, but I could not risk my own life, all that remained of the Jedi. So I arranged for you to return to the Republic, leaked information of your past, and then waited for the Sith to come. And they did. But you came to Telos against my predictions. Now they are here, I can finally face this enemy and defeat them.
And that pretty much sums up the entirety of the game. Pretty much, we were in exile. Atris, I guess, found us, returned us on the Harbinger, and then the Sith found us and attacked us because they saw us as a Jedi, which attracted them because of what we now know of our, Force powers being wounded in the Force that attracts them. And basically, it was just Atris's plan to draw them out so she can kill them. Also, that KOTOR meeting, Yeah, she also set that up in order to get the Jedi to gather in one place. Hence why all the Jedi Masters were like, I thought Atris went to KOTOR for the meeting. Yeah, no, she didn't. She set that meeting up, got all the Jedi Masters on KOTOR, and then basically sent out a signal for the Sith to come and destroy the planet and consume them and kill them all. That was Atris's first plan. This is her second plan, which is basically using us as bait. Yeah. Atris is the problem for all of us, so she pretty much yelled at us for Paragus, but she's over here killing all the Jedi and killing the galaxy. If we fail, that's pretty much what she does. So she yells at us for destroying a mining colony. Yeah, she's over here destroying the entire universe. So what she's doing is way crazier, which is kind of awesome when you think of it. You don't know that in the beginning. You think she's well above us, but now it's like when it's all revealed, it's like, wow. She's willing to put the entire galaxy into jeopardy to play a white knight. Isn't she nice? What is this place?
All the knowledge of the Sith, gathered from across the galaxy, brought here by my servants, so that I might uncover their secrets, and use them to track them down. But now they have been drawn from the shadows of the Outer Rim, and the only final matter to attend to is finishing you.
And her grand plan vision is to use some of the teaching of the Jedi and some of the teaching of the Sith to combine them into one powerful force thing, so there will be no evil and good. There'll only be whatever Jedi Sith, the Sithai, the Sithari, Sither come together, and there'll only be one teaching, and there'll be no need for fighting. Yeah, but the power of the dark side is very strong, and she obviously succumbed to it, which is how that all usually happens. Do you know where the Sith are striking from?
I do not know, yet.
She definitely
But it
knows.
does not matter. They have come here to face the Republic in battle, and they will be destroyed.
You have placed everyone on Citadel Station in jeopardy, Atris.
Yes, the Sith are here at last. You have brought them to this place as I had foreseen. And when I defeat you...
Yeah. I will not fight you. Surrender, and I will spare you.
Surrender? To you? Never. Let us end this.
Yeah. She actually was holding our lightsaber, if you caught that in the cutscene with Kreia. Now she just has a generic lightsaber. Spoiler alert, now with Force Enlightenment that helps us cast things much faster, she's not gonna last much longer. Yeah, you can try, lady, but it ain't gonna do anything. I also want to check something. How much damage can she possibly do? Okay. Nice. Yeah, she can't really do much to us. Look at that damage. So, 19. So, she's doing 17 damage at best to us. Let's see if we can have some fun with her. Let's see here. Where? Oh, wait. It's over here. Yeah, she's trying to get her force back, but it's not really working out too well. I do have some devastating sonic mines. Can I just blow us both up?
Kill me. End this.
Yeah, the mines, I guess, were exploding, but she kept trying to get her health back, but my bulky ass doesn't really give her that much, and she's just hopelessly trying to survive. After everything you've done, I'm not letting you off. No, I will not kill a helpless opponent, Atris.
I did not expect mercy from you, here at the end, after all that has happened between us.
We have greater problems, Atris, and there's just been enough killing. Uh-oh. Sith Holocrons are, doing some things.
If you will not kill me, then what will you do?
What happened to you?
This knowledge of the Sith and the Jedi is what I am. It is my attempt to hold on to the past, to try and protect the future.
I think perhaps we both have been guilty of such things.
Once I was a historian, the chronicler of the Jedi, and when both wars passed me by, I was determined that I would not forsake battle again. In some part of me, I knew I had made choices, compromises, but always for the sake of the Republic, of the galaxy. To do what you had done, at times, did not seem so wrong.
It never comes down. It never does until you realize you've lost your connection with everything.
You're right. The Jedi were all that seemed left to me, and yet I had become so far removed from them that I betrayed them.
Can you tell me where the Sith are striking from?
You always knew where they were striking from. You always knew. These Sith are spawned of you. Spawned by the Mandalorian Wars. All those deaths. All those Jedi. Their power is to feed on life, until nothing is left except a hollow galaxy, echoing with the screams of the Jedi lost to us.
Is that where Kreia has gone?
Yes. I had thought she was awaiting me at that place, but I see now that she lied. It was not meant for me, but for you. She has gone there. She is waiting for you to travel to Malachor 5, to finish what you started.
What I started?
Yes. You are an echo in the Force. A hollow space where it has been wounded. It takes a great act of destruction to create such emptiness. But it can be done. It creates places where the Force is difficult to hear, and difficult to find one's way. And you carry it with you. Always.
Okay, what does this have to do with Kreia?
Now she seeks to create another echo, a wound in the Force. Greater than the one before. Greater than the one you caused. It will deafen all touched by the Force until no life is left. You were strong enough to withstand it once, but few have your strength in such matters, especially if they are unprepared.
Why would Kreia do that?
I do not know, but she needs you there. If you choose not to follow, she will murder herself at the heart of Malachor, and you will die along with her.
But if Kreia is Sith, why would she do such a thing? Kreia is a Sith, she's strong with the Force, she would not forsake her. Who is Kreia?
She is one of the Lords of the Sith, one of those who murdered the Jedi, and she holds the death of the galaxy in her hands.
Which, I'm pretty sure this is the game, basically, revealing Kreia to the player for the very first time, because as we traveled with her, we got in the points of that she can wipe our minds to only up until the point that she wants to reveal herself. So that's why you're probably wondering, why are we asking who the hell Kreia is? We know who she is. And actually, Kreia erased herself from our minds. So we don't actually know exactly who she is because she erased that from our minds until we need it to know, which is a mind-bending thing to think about. How is this possible?
Because she has gone to Malachor. She is waiting for you there. But you will not survive, Telos. Nothing will. It is because the greatest of her apprentices comes to Telos, and he will destroy everything, just as he destroyed KOTOR and all the Jedi gathered there.
I also want to point out that it's like, the greatest of her apprentices. He's got nothing on us. We're going to have to decide that fate, or that battle and that title. But I think I've heard enough. This matter is finished.
And what will you do with me now? Abandon me here on this dead world, or end my life as I wish to end yours?
I will do nothing, except tell you that I am sorry. I did not realize the Mandalorian Wars would hurt others that had known me and cared for me. All the other choices kind of suck.
It does not matter. Not now. It is what I did with such pain that caused the wound. But I thank you.
The holocrons do not like it.
Leave now, while you can. Save Telos. Save the galaxy. Save yourself.
That's the plan.
What do we have here?
I didn't believe it when Lino reported the Ebon Hawk at dock, but I guess it really has.
Though given the trouble we've been having, maybe I shouldn't be surprised to see you.
And we just instantly teleport to the station. And the Sith are here with guns. Why these random Sith have guns, I do not know.
Lieutenant Gren,
Sith forces have breached the module and are attempting to pen us up in the compound. Damn. Zeron, I need you and your men to break through and lead the assault. With pleasure, Lieutenant. All right, follow me.
How did this happen?
It came out of nowhere. A fleet of warships dropped out of hyperspace, and before we could scramble fighters to intercept them, we were under attack. There were Sith fighters everywhere, and the few flights we sent out were barely launched when the bombardment began. We did our best, but we couldn't stop the landing craft that followed the initial wave. We couldn't hold back the Sith troops. We chose to retreat and began the evacuation instead. Then there's also the fuel situation.
Right, no fuel from Paragus, I know.
Because we don't have enough fuel, we won't be able to keep the station in orbit and operational and fight off the Sith at the same time. We'll try to make the best of what we have left, but it's going to be cutting it pretty close. The Sith numbers seem limitless, but we haven't lost all hope. We've heard reports that we might be receiving some assistance.
Have you heard any word of reinforcements?
A squad of troops sent by Queen Talia are currently trying to keep the Sith from sabotaging the station's fuel system.
Does this mean you won't be putting us into force cages again?
If you need to get to the Ravager, then you're going to have to fight your way to the shuttle from here to the entertainment module, then make your way to the docking shuttle. Good luck.
All right. And yep, we're pretty much going to fight our way to the shuttle in order to get up to the Ravager. And I hope you join me for that in the next episode, where we fight our way there, assault the Ravager, and blow it up before finally getting to the final stage of the game. And I hope you join me for that. But until next time, I have been Adam, this has been HMO4 Gaming. As always, so you don't miss any uploads or the ending of Knights of the Old Republic 2, hit subscribe, hit like, all those things on down below. But this has been Knights of the Old Republic 2, with the very end of the endgame. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a great day.